Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King, and today I'm going to be giving you part 4 of What If Naruto Was Neglected with Lost Power and Conqueror's Haki. Remember to get this one to 100 like as usual, share this to all of your friends in your social media platform, and also guys, don't forget to stay tuned for the rest of the What Ifs coming your way if you're new. Yes, I indeed have 4 channels which I post What If on every single day for you guys to enjoy. Links will be down in the description, so go ahead and check them out and enjoy. And don't forget to turn on the bell notification to see exactly when I post, because I do post a lot, and yeah, it's 4 channels. And not to mention, if you're new and this is the first time you hear my voice, comment down below so I can welcome you personally. So without further ado, waste no more time, what do you say we jump right into this brand new episode? Begin now guys. So the last time we left off, both Naruto and Sasuke made a deal, as Naruto ended up returning what he had taken from Sasuke, as it was up to Sasuke now to give his payment before the end of the finals, as Naruto warned him that there would be severe consequences if he did not pay him. With that, Naruto left, smirking to himself, as there was a lot of people that made his life nothing but utter hell within Konoha, Sasuke, Ino, and he was gonna make all of them suffer beyond anything they ever went through before. While that was going on, Naruto was being watched, as it was none other than Kushina. Her mind instantly believed that Naruto told Naruto that because he wanted to mess with her mind, because he wanted to make her unprepared for what they were gonna do on the bridge. However, he looked so much like Minato it was baffling. From the eyes to the hair, she had to investigate. As Naruto was walking though, he ran into one of his favorite authors, and that was Jiraiya. Jiraiya expected Naruto to pull out the perverted book, but no. Instead, it was a tale of a gutsy ninja, as he signed it. Jiraiya then asked Naruto to perform an operation on him, to make that down there bigger. This was not the first time that Naruto has gotten this request, so there is no need for Jiraiya to be embarrassed. Jiraiya was stunned when he woke up, as he couldn't believe it. However, Naruto told him to not go doing anything for at least 2 weeks, as he needed to let his body adjust, as he gave him a few pills. Jiraiya's confidence was much more higher now, as he figured that he would even go after Tsunade. Once she saw what he was packing, maybe she would decide to finally confess her love to him, as he started to giggle at the thoughts. Naruto asked for his help, as Naruto wanted to learn the Shadow Clone Jutsu. Not that per se, but he wanted to learn something that would allow him to be in 2 places at once. Jiraiya made him promise that he would never use his technique against Konoha, as Naruto promised he would never use that technique against Konoha. So with that, Jiraiya taught him and made his way off. As Naruto made his way home, he was pursued by Kushina. It wasn't long before she knocked as she entered, as Naruto let her in, surprised that she was here. She tried to find out information about him. She saw him at the grave, where he was crying, as Naruto ended up blowing up on her as he got tremendously angry, forced her to leave. However, he wasn't that angry, it was just to keep her away from knowing the truth. However, Naruto's mind was then assaulted. Naruto was pissed off as a Yamanaka went into his mind, trying to override his senses. As Naruto's mind was like an impenetrable force. It was a gigantic room with a lot of shelves, a lot of stored information inside, as Naruto brought down a switch. The anvil was stuck in his place as Naruto found him. It was a root anvil, as Naruto proceeded to kick him out of his mind. The next morning, Naruto was in the town square of Konoha as many people came by. One of them was Anko, as Naruto promised that with the end of the month he would get rid of the mark for her, as he knew a bit about curse marks. But he wasn't that alone though, as Naruto also met his family. On his mother's side, their father was sick as he needed a heart transplant. Naruto wanted to outright kill them, but he knew if he did that he would be one of the most wantedest men. However, he did not make a move. Well, not yet, as he made the appointment for next week. So with that, Minato came by the end of the day, as he wished to speak with Naruto. As Naruto made him know that he knew everything, as Minato dropped the false smile on his face as he would now have to force Naruto. His root envoys came out of hiding but immediately. Their throat was grabbed by invisible wires. That is when Naruto pulled out a plan. Naruto has gathered friends in high places over the past few years, as he threatened Minato with a full-on attack if he ever decided to come against him. If Minato was going to try and take him down, Naruto would kill every single root envoy here. And it wasn't going to be easy as Minato thought. Knowing that there would be a bloodbath right in the center of his village, Minato decided against it, but he sent Naruto a warning before he left though. As he would have him return back to the village, he would serve Konoha like he was supposed to in the first place. And Naruto told him that he will make him and everyone that he cared about suffer revenge for what he did to him in the past. As Minato walked off, once again Naruto's mind was invaded by the Anvu, as Ino had been one of these people in the past that had messed with Naruto's mind, trying out her technique on him because he was a clanless orphan that no one cared about. As she had messed with his mind really tremendously badly, as Naruto did not have a mental defense back then. However, now, Naruto captured the Anvu in his mind. The root Anvu could not go anywhere as he was confused. He tried to get rid of the technique but he could not, as Naruto had plans for him. He was going to be a big part of him, learning how to fully stop any Yamanaka from messing with his mind. Yes, a very big part. So yeah guys, basically let's split off. You guys can switch across the place, check out for yourself. And also guys, don't forget to go ahead and check out the what ifs on other channels. Yes, I need a 4th channel which I post what if on every single day for you guys to enjoy. So go ahead, check them out and enjoy. But for now, let's jump right into this. Begin now guys. 15 hours. That is how long the procedure took. As Naruto wiped the sweat off his forehead. After running tests on the Yamanaka's body, Naruto had found a genetic mutation that let the Yamanakas do what they did with their mind transfer jutsu. And the moment he found that mutation, Naruto had his blood clone strap him down on the table. Once Naruto extracted what he had from the Yamanaka, Naruto mixed it with his formula. It had to be injected right into the bottom of his eyes. The pain was excruciating as a plunger was pushed down as the formula was injected into his brain. His pain receptors had to be off for this. His body had to be vulnerable so the mutation would mix perfectly. But the pain was excruciating. Once the strap was removed, Naruto tried to ease the pain. As he held himself up, but the pain was just so great. It felt like his head was on fire for hours, yet it was only minutes before the pain finally stopped. His body had broken out in a massive cold sweat as he lay down trying to get his strength back since the procedure had taken a lot of strength out of him. Once he could get to his feet, he had his blood clone do the standard physical that he always had run on himself. As Naruto then got out, he went back to his hotel room to sleep as he proceeded to have his blood clone harvest all the remaining organs to use for further use, and then remove the body. 3 days later, as Naruto woke up refreshed, as today was finally the day, a smirk on his face. He was looking forward to this day, and he was looking forward to do something else other than healing people. Sure, that was his calling in life, but he could still enjoy other things as well. As Naruto had paid a tailor to make him a new outfit as he was going to wear it on a special occasion like this. As he wore the same hat, but that was special in many different ways, as it had been yet to reveal why his hat was so special. His clothing consists of a red shirt, short sleeve, under a jet black vest. He was wearing dressing pants, along with a buckle with 2 crisscross skull on it. It had a chain attached to it as well, right to the pocket, which was attached to an antique watch that he was given some time ago from an elderly man who had no physical cash. It worked very well, and the design on it fit his attire perfectly since it was the outline of the Shinigami. Thick black dress shoes that were custom made and unique. However, what was more important was what was on his back. In the years that Naruto had been taught by Faust, in the medical field, Naruto had come to learn a lot more about his powers. Faust was a well-traveled man who had seen and done so many things in his lifetime. As Naruto always questioned if Faust was somehow immortal, but he had never given an answer to that question. Faust had left for a couple of days to return with something saying that it will help Naruto. He had returned with 2 books. One of them was a journal and the other one was about a powerful force that he was capable of using. The force was known as Haki. As Naruto learned that there were various types, and while they would have been useful in his life, he only had one instead. One of the most common ones. His was known as Conqueror's Haki, said to be used by 1 in a million at a time when it was more frequent. As Naruto wondered how he was given his power at all since Haki seemed to have died out. But that information was small compared to the amount of information that was in the journal. It was extremely old as he took the utmost care to make sure that it was kept intact. It was written by the man himself that ate the cursed fruit that Naruto had eaten. His name was Travolta Law. The man was a pirate captain in his era that had long since passed. He was an amazing doctor to the likes where no one else could ever reach his level of skills. His journal had various extensive knowledge on his abilities and the procedures that he used on himself as well. So in honor of the man, Naruto had emblazoned a symbol that he used as his flag on his ship. In a way, the man had been reborn through him, and he would make him proud. And judging by what he wrote in the journal about his quest for vengeance, Naruto believed that Law would encourage him in his efforts. As Naruto walked out of his room, cane in hand, as he used the end of the cane to tap the door. As both of them came out, they were ordered to go. Both of them took a look at him, as both of them blushed, as he was sharply dressed, not to mention ridiculously handsome. As Naruto led the way as they made their way towards the academy, where the test was being taken place. Not much happened on the way there, it was just people staring at him, as he wasn't dressed like a ninja. But then again, Naruto did not care because he was not really a shinobi. Arriving towards the second room, Naruto placed a finger to his lips and told the girls to be quiet, as there was an illusion confusing these people right here. Once they arrived to the proper room though, the moment they stepped in, everyone turned their gaze upon them. Killer intent was sent their way in a high quantity. Naruto sighed as he had to make a point to these people that he was not one to be underestimated. As Naruto released his Haki throughout the room, the mysterious energy made all within the room fall to their knees in a cold sweat. Several of them looked at Naruto with nothing but utter fear on their face as they realized that he was a bigger threat than they thought. The 3 of them then stood off to the side as they waited for the official test to start. And like he thought, the rookies of Konoha all showed up, along with a few more that he did not know would be here. As Naruto noticed that the team from the stand was here with all children of the Kazekage. It was shortly after the test began, with a warning not to cheat on the test. Naruto did not know any of these. He was never trained as a shinobi, so he wouldn't know them. Multiple people were caught cheating and they were eliminated. However, it was in the end that the person told them that if they failed this part, they will be stuck as genins forever. That didn't even cross Naruto's mind after all. He was a doctor. However, it was just a trick. Naruto did not listen much to what he was saying though, as Anko had burst into the room, telling them to get their ass to the force of death. Arriving towards the location, they were forced to sign legal waivers, so if they died in this portion of the exam, the village could not be blamed for their death or injuries. As Naruto filled out the form and handed it to Anko, Anko handed Naruto 2 scrolls. One of them contained the money for the operation, and the other one was a earth scroll. It was a full payment for the procedure that he was going to perform when everything was ready. He thanked her and told her there was a full payment back if things didn't go as intended, as she simply smiled and thanked him for actually trying to help her. After all, people weren't trying to help her anymore. The rules of the second part were simple. 2 scrolls handed out. You must receive the opposite scroll in the forest of death. Once you had both, you make your way to the center tower and then you would pass. With the instructions being clear, they moved towards the gates. The gates opened up as they made their way inside. As Naruto and his team had moved in, expecting to be attacked at any given point, as it was expected by now after all. However, there was none. For 2 whole days as Naruto watched his girls slept, nothing happened, no ninjas popped up. As Naruto had popped one of his pills, so that he could stay awake and the girls could get some sleep. It was only on the 3rd day that they met up against a team. It was no other than Squad 10, consists of Choji, Ino, and Shikamaru. Why, said Naruto, out of all the people that we could have faced in the next exam, why were you people the first one that we have to meet? Troublesome, Shikamaru said, agreeing with Naruto's statement. He heard the rumors around town about the Sergeant of Death. If any of them were even a fraction of the truth, This will not end well for his squad. If they were gonna get out of this unscathed, they're gonna have to play this smart. Finally, Kurosaki said, slamming her fist into her palm. We get to fight someone. The last few days had been so boring for her. It would have been better if Naruto did not bring his girlfriend and she could seduce him while he was here. But since Haku was not only here but in a relationship with the person that she wanted, that did not seem possible. Hold up, Shikamaru said, trying to calm the situation down. Maybe we can come to some trade-off and leave as strangers. What are you talking about, Shika? Choji said as he ate his chips. We can take these guys. Choji, Shikamaru said. Listen to me when I said that we don't want to fight that man, as we are right now. He's known as the Sergeant of Death and is known to kill far more powerful shinobis. Ah, I'm glad that someone in your group know who I am, said Naruto. And so what was this trade-off I heard about? What scroll do you need? We have extras, he said. We need a heaven, said Naruto. Shikamaru rumbled through and he pulled out a scroll and tossed it. As Naruto caught it, you're lucky that I'm not like the rest of you. Since once I'm paid, I do what I was paid for. I accept your payment, so move along. And pray that we don't meet like this again because you won't have anything that we need. As Team 10 quickly made their way off, as Naruto turned towards Haku and handed the scrolls over to her. Why are you giving these to me, she asks. You guys head towards the tower, said Naruto. There's a weed here I wish to pick for research purposes. And since I'm here, said Naruto. Okay, Haku said. If there was one thing that she knew about Naruto when he was going for herbs for his research purposes, there was no stopping him from doing so. As she and Kurosaki made their way off, as Naruto could only smile, glad that he found a woman to love him like how he was. But the moment they were gone, the smile vanished. I know that you're there, said Naruto. There's no use trying to hide from me. He waited for a moment but no one came out to greet him, which ticked him off. As he opened his hand like he was stretching his fingers, he then swiped the ear as the gloves released the wires and sliced through all the trees around him. Such a temper for someone so young. A slippery voice spoke up, stepping out of the rubble. You should take some deep breaths and calm yourself. I'm a doctor, said Naruto with a smirk, so I know what I need to relax. I don't need a second opinion from a stranger, and especially not from a snake Sanin Orochimaru himself. Oh, said the now snake Sanin as he walked towards Naruto. However, he kept his distance. So, it would seem, even the so-called Sergeant of Death has heard of me. Well, it's hard not to hear about a man that does such horrific experiments on people. Plus, I was born here, so I know about you. So, a native citizen of Konoha is the infamous Sergeant of Death, Orochimaru says as he chuckled. It seems this village does breeds the most unique of shinobis in the world. Is there a point to all of this, said Naruto as he pulled out his pocket watch and looked at the time. Because if not, I have other things that I wish to accomplish, and a tight window of time to do so. I just wanted to meet the man behind the rumors, Orochimaru said. And I have to say, you are as formidable as they say. I can feel it from your aura alone. But while I'm here, I want to give you a chance to join me. Imagine what both of us can do if we put our minds together. I already accomplished what you could not, so I don't see the purpose in working with a man who only wished to extend his own lifetime instead of aiding others. We are completely polar opposite. Orochimaru raised eyebrow. And what exactly do you mean by you have accomplished what I could not? Oh, that's quite simple, said Naruto as his eyes changed into the Sharingan that he took from Itachi. Orochimaru looked at the eyes in shock as Naruto made them morph into something more dangerous. Impossible, Orochimaru said, getting angry. How? How were you able to acquire Itachi eyes? Oh, that's simple. I killed him and took it from him, as Naruto blinked. His eyes returned back normal. Orochimaru snarled. You honestly expect me to believe that you, a mere child, was able to kill someone like Itachi Uchiha? I don't care what you believe, really. I did. And I have his eyes because of it. So the real question is now, what exactly are you going to do about it? Oh, nothing, said Orochimaru, because it is not you who I'm here for. Oh, really? And who, pray tell, are you here for? Someone from my team, said Naruto. Oh no, Orochimaru said, waving his hand. Perish that thought. Well, that's good for you, said Naruto as he flexed his fingers. Because if it was, I would have to kill you. Oh, I see. So you just care about your own group, not any others around here, Orochimaru said. I am a doctor, not a shinobi. Politics is not really my strong suit. You're the one that has to deal with the repercussions, not me. I won't be involved. As Orochimaru chuckled. Let us go back a second though. You actually believe that you can kill me, he said. I am not Itachi Uchiha. I don't die so easily. No, you will die easier than him, said Naruto. As Naruto twitched his pinky finger, Orochimaru's head was sliced off. However, it turned into mud and so did his lower body. Naruto stood where he was as he smirked. Orochimaru's extended head arrived at his throat and sank his fangs into his neck. However, Orochimaru's teeth broke as they hit steel instead of, well, flesh. What the hell, Orochimaru said, retracting his head as he held his bloody mouth. What was that, he said. I told you, said Naruto. I accomplished what you failed to do. Orochimaru frowned. While he would make another attempt to mark the boy with his cursed seal, he had to go now. He knew with Minato and the root forces, he had to move quickly. But he saw that the Sergeant of Death was here. The chance was just too great to pass. He had heard what the brat could do, that he was not loyal to any village. Orochimaru thought he could get him to join him, well, by himself. However, seeing that Naruto denied what he asked, he decided to give him the curse mark to further tempt him. However, he failed miserably. Orochimaru turned. We will slice. His right arm was taken off in the process as he winced in pain. Did you really expect to curse me and just get away in the process, said Naruto. As Naruto pulled the severed hand towards him, as he grabbed onto it, Orochimaru glared as he quickly vanished in a swirl of leaf. Just something to remember this moment by. As Naruto placed the arm in cold storage inside of his operating room, he was unsure what he could learn from it, but it was something that he could look into in his spare time. Naruto sent the door away as he stepped forward now. If I could just get to my location without any further interruption. Naruto sighed as 24 root shinobis appeared and surrounded him. You know, one day, said Naruto in a sarcastic tone, I don't know when it's gonna happen, but I'll eventually learn how to stop asking stupid questions that will always jinx me. So let's get this over with, alright? Let's skip over the whole you will serve our master speech and get to the fighting bit. The root shinobis looked at each other as the leader of said group stepped forward. Well, this is different, said Naruto as he whipped out his cane and twirled it. I never really had a volunteer come forward before. It was true that Naruto wanted a rare plant that only grew in the forest of death. But he knew that Orochimaru was watching him as well, so that is why he sent his team away, as they were not ready for someone like that. Orochimaru was known for being slippery, and Naruto would not chance it. However, as for these guys, Naruto brought his hand up before bringing it down, as chaos ensued. 2 days later, as Naruto stood with his group, the both of them were glaring at each other for some reason, as Naruto did not know what happened while the two girls were alone. However, whenever he asked, they turned towards him and glared at him, so he decided to just back off. One member that caught his sight was Sasuke when he saw Sasuke appear with the Team 7 in tow, but he was taken away because of the mark on his neck. It seems like he was Orochimaru's target. While Sasuke was getting some treatment to try and get the mark removed off of him, Naruto was sure that it would not work after all. Anko had hers for far longer. The rest of the shinobis were stood as they were all lined up, including Naruto, as Minato was telling them why they had this exam. Naruto ignored the man as he was writing in his book, as he had more important things to write down about. They were told that they would be facing against each other in a preliminary matches because the numbers were too great. As Naruto's name was the first, as his opponent was none other than Kiba Inuzaka, that caused him to smirk. Kiba was a real asshole, not just Naruto but to many others as well, and he believed that he was the alpha male, completely desirable to any woman. However, the reason why Naruto hated him with a passion was, Kiba used his sense of smell when they were younger to find him, and led the bullies right towards him. No matter where Naruto tried to hide, he was always able to sniff him out. Then when he got his dog Akamari, he would have the mutt piss on him to further insult him whenever he was beaten up by the bullies, as he called Naruto a beta male, that he deserved everything that he got. Yes, his life was pure hell back then. But as he thought about it, only a grin spread across his face. It's time that he showed this so-called alpha male, Naruto said in a sarcastic tone, what this beta male can do. Everyone made their way up to the balcony, so they could observe the fight from a safe distance as Naruto and Kiba made their way down towards the ring center. Well, if it isn't Kiba Inuzaka, said Naruto as he twirled his cane and leaned on it. Oh, cruel irony. So you know who I am, Kiba said, smirk on his face. Someone that was not a part of the village knew who he was. It seems his reputation was growing. Well, in all things considered, an alpha such as me should be known throughout all the elemental countries. My infamy will continue to grow and soon all women will be putty at my feet. Oh, no, said Naruto. I simply know you from the past. Oh, is that right, said Kiba, as he smirked and looked Naruto up and down, not recognizing him. As Naruto was unable to hold himself back, but he had to because he needed to hurt Kiba in a way that would scar him for the rest of his life. But he wanted to make him suffer, and the suspension, it was getting him giddy. I'm surprised that you don't recognize me. You knew me so well when we were children. Kiba was confused. Sorry to say, but you're not familiar to me in any way. That obviously means that you weren't that important to me, or to anything around me if I don't remember you. Well, now that I think about it, it's easy to see why you don't recognize me, said Naruto. Well, besides the fact that you only think with that thing between your legs, said Naruto, which I'm guessing is so small because you think that all women should be at your feet for you to take advantage of them because, well, none of them will spare you a glance. Kiba clenched his fists. And I don't look the same as the past, said Naruto. Oh, you're screwed. I'm gonna make you wish you didn't say that, said Kiba. I'm screwed? Sorry, but not really interested, said Naruto. And if I was that way, said Naruto, I doubt you'd be my type. I mean, look at you. You mutt. Kiba growled angrily. I'm gonna kill you, he said. Oh, is the alpha male getting upset, said Naruto. Afraid of the beta male. As Kiba was shocked by Naruto's words, the way he said it, something was just so... Kiba narrowed his eyes. As he tried to remember someone, there was someone on the forefront of his mind, but he was finding it hard to believe. Who? Wait, it can't be. Rag boy? Said Kiba. Everyone that had bullied Naruto as well, eyes widened in shock when they heard that. They all assumed that Naruto had died, as they had went on to bully others, while they no longer bullied. Their arrogance was still there. No one was able to knock it out of them, or, well, no one tried. In the flesh, said Naruto as he held out his arms. Rag boy was the name they all called him since his clothing was patched together, which Naruto was happy with back then since he was always warm. While he was seething in rage on the inside, that name that he hated was brought up back after all these years. He calmed himself because he had his plan. Good to see that you remember me. I have to say, I look better with nicer clothes and well kept here, so it's easy to understand why you didn't recognize me. Kiba looked at Naruto in shock for a few seconds. There was no doubting it was Rag Boy. As his look turned into one of humor, he started to laugh so hard he fell to the ground, grabbing his stomach, as tears fell from his eyes, as he found it rather amusing. As Naruto stood there calmly and let him laugh. I can't believe that you, the Zeta male, is my opponent, said Kiba. Kiba decided to call Naruto Zeta male instead of Beta after a while, because he said that Naruto was lower than a Beta. He was at Zeta. Well, that and Rag Boy. Rag Boy was more popular, but Kiba was the only one that called him Zeta male. As Kiba finally calmed himself to think that you survived, when we thought that you had died. Well, as you can see, I'm alive and well. No thanks to the likes of you, said Naruto. You know what, said Kiba, I'm in a good mood right now. How about you get on your knees and beg me not to hurt you like old times, and I just might let you go. I learned when I was 5 that you were a liar, said Naruto, when you gave me that option, and I'm not the same person as I was before. So how about this as a deal? You get on your knees and forfeit the match, and solidify yourself as my personal bitch. Or you could fight me. But if you do fight me though, I'll break you in a way that you will never be able to recover, said Naruto. Kiba snarled as he shot forward. The person that was so beneath him, not even a Beta, a Zeta male, was trying to humiliate him. He was gonna put him in his place like he did in the old days. However, everything Kiba threw, ever slash, ever punched, Naruto dodged all of them. As Naruto grew tired of dodging and sweep him off his feet with his cane, he then jumped back as he got some space between them. Hold still, Kiba yelled as he got to his feet and prepared to attack once again. It's not so easy as you thought, said Naruto. Is it? I'll still kick your worthless ass, Kiba said. Yet you haven't landed a single blow. Neither of you, said Kiba. That's because I was not ready yet, said Naruto as he closed his eyes and took a breath. He pulled out a vial filled with his blood as he crushed it in his palm. He felt it as the liquid moved down to his cane. Minato was watching Naruto bloodline with A focused eyes as he wanted to know how it worked. The only thing that he had on it was a few rumors and what his daughter told him. But this was the time for him to see it in action. The blood went into the mouth of the skull and the cane as it turned into a sight. Naruto turned as he brought it upwards. Akamaru, who was trying to sneak around the back and attack Naruto, was met with a blade. As Naruto knew that he was there and was simply waiting for him to jump. The moment he did, Naruto brought the cane upwards. Slice! Only one dog jump, however, 2 pieces drop. As Naruto had severed Akamaru in half, split him right through the middle. As Naruto pulled all the blood from the body, as it turned into an orb in his hand. As Naruto stored it away into a vial. Sure, it was dog blood, but with his bloodline in it, blood can be used. Kiba screamed on top of his lungs. Akamaru, he said, as he couldn't believe what he just saw. He ran forward and grabbed onto the 2 half that the mutt had become. Tears started to form in his eyes as sadness led to rage. So much rage. That mutt has finally been put down like it should have been years ago, said Naruto. You, said Kiba as his rage grew exponentially. As his eyes and whole demeanor changed into a rabid animal. I don't like being pissed on, said Naruto. Or, assholes in general. How dare you? How dare I, said Naruto. This coming from a boy who made it his hobby to hunt down a child his own age who could not defend himself, and thought it was so funny he repeated the event again and again. We were goddamn kids, Kiba yelled. Yes, we were, said Naruto. But your actions have consequences, and, unfortunately for you, the boy that you bullied for so long grew stronger, and channeled my hate into a drive to better myself. Your actions have led to this. I even gave you a way to leave unscathed, but I knew that cockiness of yours would get in your way. So this is your own fault, not mine. And that is something that you get to live with for the rest of your life. Kiba got up, fang over fang. The power was only half, seeing that Akamaru was gone to back him up, as he was spinning like a buzzsaw. As Naruto did not even move and simply held his hand up, he used his steel release. When his hand met with Kiba, sparks started to fly everywhere, as Naruto was being pushed back as Kiba kept on moving. However, Naruto did not seem worried as he still held his hand up as sparks started to fly. His hand was now like a steel piece of iron, unable to be ripped by Kiba. Minato and the others were shocked as they saw this. This was not something they expected to happen. They could not see Naruto's hand because it was covered by the glove and the sleeve, so they had no idea what's going on. As Naruto's hand started to glow as he channeled more power into it, he then expelled the power outwards. Kiba was blasted as he crashed on the ground. Genin Kiba, said Minato, as he was concerned for the boy's safety. Tasumi was a friend of his, and he didn't want her son to get too badly hurt. Do you wish to continue, he said. Kiba forced himself up to his feet. Yes, Mutt. Do you wish to keep on going, said Naruto. After all, I thought you were better than a Zeta male, said Naruto. Kiba growled. I wish to continue, he said. He didn't know how he was going to do it, but he was going to make Naruto suffer, as Naruto simply smirked at him, further pissing him off. Come then, Kiba, he said, extending his arms. Kiba charged forward, but thin red lines appeared around his arms and legs. Kiba was stuck where he was. As Naruto clenched his fists, the wires got so hot as they sliced into his flesh, and at the same time they cauterized his wounds. Kiba cried out in agony as he fell, as his limbs fell differently from him. As it wasn't only his limbs that Naruto removed, it was also what made him a man, turning him into a eunuch. Everyone that was watching turned green as they watched a limbless boy on the ground. Kiba was not gonna bleed out because Naruto wires cauterized a wound. As medic ninjas quickly rushed to the scene, as they picked up the limbs, however, Naruto had sliced it into sections so they wouldn't be able to heal it as it had already been cauterized. Smirk was on Naruto's face as he started to walk up the stairs. However, he was stopped by Minato. Why did you do this to Kiba, he said. I did warn him if he fought me, I would break him in a matter that he would not recover from. As Naruto simply stepped around Minato. Don't blame me when I gave him a chance to leave. You didn't have to ruin his career like a shinobi, like you just did, said Minato. As Naruto came to a stop right behind the man. The world know what I do to those that I dislike, for reasons ranging from threat to friends to loved ones, and for threat to my services. This is what I do to those I hate with unbridled rage. Death is too easy for anyone I hate. Death is just quick and over. What I do is give them something that they will remember for the rest of their life. That is if they don't end their own life. Remember that bit of information for the future, okay? As Minato swallowed thickly, his mind instantly went towards his daughter. As Naruto went to take his spot next to his squad since his match was over, and he was not gonna fight another one, and Naruto could only chuckle to himself as the various chonins, hopefuls, went far away from him and his team. After what he did to Kiba and the revelation that he was who he was, they were terrified of the guy. Most of them had grew up to be shinobis and thought they would be grand adventurers and fortunes to be earning their career. However, Naruto had just slapped a hard dose of reality right in their face. No one expected Kiba to become a limbless torso. Many of them were thinking about a different career path. Minato took a minute to make sure that Kiba was in good hands with the medical ninjas before he was about to press the button until many shinobis that made it here from other nations raised their hands as they gave up. After seeing Kiba become crippled like he had, many of them did not want that same fate. The numbers were now far lower as he and another checked them over. However, there was 2 people over the limit, so he drew 4 names from the box. As he took the time to explain to those that were still left, he then showed the names of those that he drew. The first match will be Lee versus Gaara. Gaara disappeared in a swirl of sand as he reappeared in the middle of the arena. Lee pumped his fist as he jumped down there. I am so very happy that I still get a chance to fight in this part of the exam, said Lee. There was a smile on his face. The moment the match began, Lee was the one that charged forth to try and land the first blow. However, Gaara's sand was impeccable as it came up every time Lee tried to hit him. Lee then started to get overwhelmed by the sand as he was being pushed back, knocked back and blown back. Gaara was bloodlusted by this point as he had sent the sand underneath the ground. The sand exploded out and grabbed Lee by the feet as everything went to hell from there. As Lee was grabbed by one of them, he was then proceeded to be bashed into the wall and the ground several times. He tried to brace himself with his arms, however, the pain was still excruciating. Gaara then created fists made from sands and proceeded to bash Lee into the ground several times until the ground started to crack with tremendous force. Everyone gasped as they watched the brutality as Gaara was pummeling Lee, a bloodthirsty smirk on his face. Lee tried to get up, however Gaara dropped a force of sand that was able to crack Lee's spine. The damage that was done to him had crippled him from the waist down. As Gaara was about to end it, but Guy appeared and knocked away the sand. As he quickly turned toward the students, the match was ended because Lee could no longer go on. Lee, everything will be fine. We'll get you fixed up. As Guy was about to bring him towards the doctors until I highly doubt that he can help. Guy turned as Naruto was standing there. What? Said Guy. I am saying that the damage done to his spine is too excessive to be healed in any hospital. How do you know this? Said Guy as his tone was reflecting anger. This young man had just came out and said that the chance of Lee recovering from this was basically zero, and that was something Guy did not like in the slightest. You may have heard about me through rumors, said Naruto. My name is Naruto, however. Throughout the Elemental Nation I am known as the Sergeant of Death. Guy did not know that Naruto was the one known as the Sergeant of Death. He did hear the rumors around the village, however he did not meet Naruto personally. And Guy thought that the one that would be given that name would be much older, given most shinobis have a reputation when they were, well, in their prime. But this was just a kid. However, he heard that he was a miracle worker. Can you heal my student? Said Guy. As Naruto bent down and tapped Lee with his cane. Actually, I can, he said. While Naruto was ruthless and cold to those that he swore vengeance against, however, Naruto was not against Konoha or the people that did not harm him in any way. And Lee was one of them that did not ever harm him. That is why I'm here right now, said Naruto, to offer my services. Please, said Guy. Help him, he begged. Okay, but there is no need to beg, said Naruto. I'll help your student, but there will be a cost. For the medical procedure, whatever the price is, I will happily pay, said Guy, tears of joy spreading from his eyes. As Naruto pulled his book out and saw the things that he would need to fix Lee to get him back into pristine condition, As when the things start to add up, it was incredibly expensive, not to mention Naruto's fee. As he tallied it all up and handed it to Guy, Guy eyes widen as he did not have that on him or in his account. Judging from your reaction, you don't have that money, said Naruto. But you seem to be a very trustworthy person who cares for a student. So if you will sign an agreement to pay me in full by the end of the exams, I will operate immediately and he will be up and about in a few days. Yes, said Guy. As Naruto pulled out a scroll, he had multiple copies of these. It was the agreement that they had to sign. In the fine detail it said that if the money was not paid, well, additional prices will be added on. And if it was still not paid, organs will be harvested. It may seem chaotic, but those organs will be used to help people. Yes, it was just a chaotic event over and over. As Guy signed it without second thought, as Naruto summoned his door to his operation. Soon after he left, various shinobis came out, as they started to smooth back out the ring after the destruction that Gaara had dealt it with. The next match was Hinata versus Neji. So it has come to this, Hinata. Our long-awaited match. With no main members to hold me back from showing you what I'm truly capable of, Neji thought. Hinata Hyuga was one of the most arrogant women, if there was ever one. Then again, she was from the Hyuga clan, and they all thought they were a comic gift from heaven because of their eyes. She was the clan head daughter Hayashi Hyuga. Through her entire life she was taught that she was better than most, and those teachings had been stuck into her mind. At the age of 3 she was kidnapped by a Kumo shinobi posing as an ambassador, and she was rescued by Konoha shinobis. She never wanted to feel that helpless again, so she had trained her mind and her body to be cruel, to never be helpless ever again, as she wanted to be ruthless, powerful, unable to be kidnapped. Her younger sister Hanabi and her never got along in the slightest. When the day came for them to fight, Hinata had beat her to an inch of her life. Hinata was the one that applied the cage bird seal to her sister's head. Over the years she had become wicked and cruel. Neji had been there that day, as she was truly evil, down to the soul. The failed kidnapping had ended with Hinata Father Hayashi killing a man. However, the one to be sacrificed to Kumo was none other than Neji's father, because they were twins. Kumo thought they had gotten the Byakugan. However, once the seal on the man's forehead activated after his death, the eyes were destroyed. Since that day, there was nothing but rage that Neji had for the main family. Because of Hayashi's failure to protect his daughter, Neji was left without a father, and he was now a slave for his entire life. However, now, the gods had given him a chance to release all that anger, all that pent-up rage on his cousin, and he will handle it accordingly. We really shouldn't have to fight like this, Neji, Hinata said as she got into her gentle stance. Her tone was filled with nothing but arrogance. The moment the proctor told him to begin, Neji moved in. On the balcony, Haku and Kurosaki watched, with sharpened eyes, as they didn't want to miss a moment of this match. Neji was the far more aggressive one, as he was trying to strike his, well, Hinata seemed more pissed off cousin, as he was overwhelming her quickly. But despite her being arrogant, Hinata had taken her training to heart, as she was able to move around and dodge several of Neji's brutal attacks, as she was actually holding her own and even striking back against him. This pissed her off though, because she should be winning. Neji was a branch member, she had far more training, she should be better than him. But yet he was matching her blow for blow with skills that he should not possess. While she was getting tired, Neji's sheer hatred for her kept him strong and pushed him to continue on. Eventually he powered through her attacks as he starts to inflict damage on her. As they fought, Naruto appeared by his door as he was done with Lee's surgery. The process did not take that long after all, because, well, he knew what he was doing. As he told Guy that Lee was fine, Guy gave him a thumbs up in appreciation. As Naruto looked down to see Neji kicking Hinata arrogant ass, he had to say he did not expect this. He's damaged her arms pretty badly, Naruto thought, as Neji delivered a brutal strike to her gut before slamming his palm under her chin, lifting her off the ground. Hinata was seething in rage by this point. She was growling in anger, as Neji did not hesitate to go for the kill. He was so close, as he struck her in the chest, something that no one expected. Hinata was shocked that he would hit her there. She knew the points of the body and knew hitting that point would cause serious damage to the heart muscles, and even cause flatline to the heart. Before she could even speak, he struck her in the gut as she coughed up blood. As Hinata started to slowly cough up more blood, Neji moved forward until he dropped to his knees and started to scream. As Hinata had a smug look on her face, Her hand was forming the cage bird seal. As he tried to kill her, she could only imagine the punishment that her father would give him for what he tried. However, that did not matter her. She would enjoy that later, but now, she would make sure that he suffered for what he did. As Naruto shook his head in disgust, she was given a handicap from the moment the match began. That damn seal. Neji stood no chance. If she wanted to end the match when it began, she could have used a seal. It was just cheating, a handicap. When he was in his younger days, she had personally used her style to make him bow to his knees and step on his head. Because she was a queen, that is what she said, and he was a peasant beneath her. As Naruto wanted to be with her by himself, however, this was perfect. Naruto bit his finger and pointed his finger towards Neji. As his blood flew out like a bullet, being shot, the blood hit Neji in the side of his head, but he was already in tremendous pain, so that went undetected. The blood seeped into his pores as it started infecting from the inside. As Naruto waited until he had full control before he acted. As Neji could not do anything nor Naruto about the seal. As he forced Neji body to rise and leap forward, Hinata was not expecting this as he tackled her to the ground. Naruto then proceeded to use Neji's fist to beat her face in, as he kept on bashing and bashing and bashing. This surprised many, as the Jonin's quickly flashed down here to pull Neji off Hinata, but he was able to bash her face in good. Hinata was taken out a long time ago, as the medics quickly picked her up and rushed her towards the hospital to get checked up. As Neji stood, he was a winner, as Naruto allowed the blood to go dormant in his system, so he had full control over his body. But Neji was in too much pain to even do anything else as he fell forward, but he still won. They were told that they were going to meet in 1 month's time for the finals, as Guy pulled for Neji, seeing that he was gone to the hospital as well. As the first match was going to be Naruto vs Gaara, the second Kurosaki vs Sakura, the third Haku vs Ino, the fourth Shikamaru vs Temari, the fifth Shino vs Tenten, the sixth Neji vs Naruto, and the seventh Choji vs Conqueror. Once the match was set unofficial, Naruto met up with his group so they could leave. After all, they should return in 1 month's time. As Naruto opened his room, before he brought Lee out, Guy grabbed a hold of the sleeping lad and told Naruto that he will make sure that Lee take it easy and that he will get him the money before he vanished off. As Naruto had no idea what was going on between the girls, Kurosaki and Haku were glaring at each other. Neither of them had spoken the entire way back. Naruto had tried to get the conversation started, but it was just so awkward. And when he opened his mouth to say anything, they turned their killer intent on him instead, as Naruto decided that it would be best if he kept his mouth shut. He may be a sergeant, as he knew how to gruesomely maim and kill people, but when it comes to women, sometimes he decided it was best to just be quiet, especially with Haku. Her needles were very deadly, and well, she could put him in a paralyzed state, even if it was only for a short moment, and then she could do things. Naruto separated from them once he got to the hotel, as he left a simple note that he would meet them at the gate by 8 PM to take them back, as Naruto set out to find something proper to eat. As he had came across a barbecue restaurant, he was never able to go inside when he was younger because he and his mother never had enough to pay for it. As a woman came and gave him a menu, as Naruto made his order, as she then came back with his food. The meat was raw, but then again there was a mini grill, so that he could cook it there. So he did just that as he enjoyed his meal in peace, as he left a good tip. As Naruto found a secluded place as he started to write out some message, as he gave his crews to deliver them, he smiled as the last one took off, as he decided to relax until the time was right for them to leave. However, Naruto had to roll away, as claws tear right through the tree that he was resting underneath. As Naruto quickly got to his feet, looking at the person that attacked him out of the blue, it was a woman. As Naruto saw her fangs and her claws, one look Naruto could tell exactly who she was. It was the mother of Kiba. I'm gonna guess by your physical appearance that you're Inuzuka, but not just any Inuzuka, said Naruto. The woman growled, as Naruto saw nothing but rage in her face. And judging by how pissed off you are towards me, I'm guessing that you're Kiba's mother. Naruto had crippled her son beyond any medical care, so he figured that something like this might happen. You'll pay for what you did to my son, she snarled, as he saw the look in her eyes, that bloodlust. Oh yes, she wanted him dead, really badly. As Naruto cracked his neck, He would defend himself. Of course he would. If she wants to come, let her come. As he noticed her preparing herself to launch herself towards him. As Naruto shifted his feet, narrowing his gaze towards the woman. But guys, be and subscribe right here. If you want to see next part and do, like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification to stay posted. Remember, share to all of your friends in social media platform. And also guys, don't forget to go ahead and check out the brand new series, well, movie over Anime Prince. I'm gonna be posting out movie if Naruto got all Lanterns ring. That include the red and every single color Lanterns ring. So stick around for that guys. And yeah, more to come over in Making 2 and Making 3. If you're new, I indeed have 4 channels which I post what fun every single day. Yes, you heard that correctly, every single day for you guys to enjoy. But for now, I'm out of here. See you guys soon. Peace guys.